Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking on what is arguably one of the most hotly debated topics in all of digital security. We are going to completely demystify Tor and VPNs, really just to empower you to choose the exact right tool for your digital footprint. You know, if you've ever wondered how to truly protect your data, or if you've just felt completely overwhelmed by all the technical jargon surrounding online privacy, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's dive in.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 5 main points. Number 1, the illusion of online privacy. 2, VPNs, the centralized tunnel. 3, Tor, the distributed onion. 4, performance and ease of use. And finally, number 5, defining your threat model.
Section 1, the illusion of online privacy.
To start things off, we really have to shatter this illusion that just because you're browsing from the comfort of your couch, you're actually alone. It's a nice thought, right? But from a networking perspective, it literally couldn't be further from the truth. Ask yourself, who is actually watching you online? Every single time you send a request out into the web, it passes through multiple hands. I mean, is it your local ISP quietly logging and selling your browsing data? Could it be some cybercriminal sitting across from you on unsecured public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop? Or, depending on where you live, is it mass government surveillance? Understanding exactly who might be watching is the crucial first step in figuring out how to hide.
And here is the harsh truth. Perfect anonymity online is extremely difficult to achieve. Honestly, even with the absolute best software, things like browser fingerprinting or just simple human error can give you away. But here's the thing, most of us don't actually need military-grade invisibility just to safely check our email or stream a movie. And that is exactly why we have to understand the nuances of the tools that offer us defense. We don't want to use a sledgehammer to crack a nut, right?
Section 2, VPNs, the centralized tunnel. Let's look at how a virtual private network actually functions. Honestly, the easiest way to think of a VPN is like a single trusted delivery driver. The process is pretty straightforward, but it's incredibly powerful. First, your data is securely wrapped or encrypted right there on your device. Second, that encrypted package is handed off to your delivery driver, which is the VPN server. It gets routed through this server, effectively masking your original IP address. Finally, it arrives at its destination. The website you're visiting, it only sees the delivery driver's ID, the VPN's IP address, not yours. And your ISP? All they see is an encrypted tunnel. They can't actually look inside the package. So, the absolutely crucial point here is this. VPN trust is centralized. The provider holds the keys. While the VPN hides your traffic from your ISP and local Wi-Fi hackers, the VPN provider themselves acts as the middleman. They can technically see your real IP address and your final destination. You're taking all of your trust and placing it in one single company. This means you are relying heavily, and I mean heavily, on them having a strict, independently audited no-logs policy. If they ever get forced by law enforcement to hand over data, you just have to trust that they literally have zero data saved to hand over.
Section 3, Tor, the distributed onion.
Conversely, let's look at the onion router, more commonly known as Tor. Originally developed by the US Navy, Tor takes a fundamentally different architectural approach. Unlike our single, trusted delivery driver with a VPN, Tor uses a system of distributed nodes. It essentially hands your package to 3 random strangers across the globe. Your data is wrapped in 3 distinct layers of encryption, literally like an onion. It goes to the entry or guard node, which peels off that first layer. Now, this node knows who you are, but not where you're going. Then it passes to the middle relay, which knows absolutely neither your identity nor your destination. Finally, it hits the exit node. This node peels the last layer and sends the data to the website. So the exit node knows where the data is going, but has zero idea who sent it. Nobody holds the complete picture. It's brilliant. And this brilliantly illustrates the core difference between the two systems. A VPN operates on centralized trust. You're requiring yourself to trust a single company's promise, their infrastructure, and their legal jurisdiction. Tor, on the flip side, operates on distributed trust. You don't have to trust any single person or company. Instead, you're trusting a mathematically distributed, completely decentralized network of volunteers. It is essentially an architectural guarantee of anonymity, rather than just a contractual one. However, I've got to point out, Tor is not invincible, because that final layer of encryption is peeled away at the exit node before the data hits the open web. The volunteer operating that specific node can potentially see what you are doing. If you're visiting an unencrypted website, one using HTTP instead of HTTPS, a bad actor running that exit node can literally capture unencrypted data, including passwords and cookies. While Tor's design is incredible, this is a massive vulnerability you absolutely must be aware of.
Section 4. Performance and ease of use.
Now that we understand the mechanics under the hood, let's talk about the clash of performance. Because in the networking world, extreme privacy always comes with a cost. Let's talk numbers here. For a VPN, because it's a single professionally maintained hop, throughput can easily hit up to 1 gigabit per second, with incredibly low latency. We're talking 20 to 100 milliseconds. You can game, you can stream in 4K, all totally seamlessly. But look at Tor. Because your data is forced to literally bounce randomly around the world through 3 volunteer-run computers, the latency skyrockets up to 3,000 milliseconds or more, and speeds drag down to less than 2 megabits per second. It makes video streaming practically impossible. Plus, VPNs are highly seamless to use across your entire operating system, whereas Tor is generally restricted to a specialized browser and can be pretty complex to configure securely.
And that massive speed and usability advantage, that is exactly why we see this number, 31%. An estimated 31% of all internet users have adopted a VPN for their daily browsing, whether that's to protect themselves on public Wi-Fi or just bypass geographic restrictions on streaming services. Compare that massive mainstream adoption to Tor's highly niche audience of roughly 2.7 million daily users. Most people simply cannot sacrifice the speed required by the modern internet for the absolute anonymity that Tor provides.
Section 5. Defining your threat model.
So you're probably wondering, how do you personally choose between the blazing speed of a VPN and the absolute uncompromising anonymity of Tor? Well, you have to understand your own risks. You must define your personal threat model. What is that? It's basically an evaluation of what specific digital assets you're trying to protect and identifying the specific adversaries you're protecting them from. This is the ultimate psychological framework that prevents you from just blindly buying into cybersecurity marketing hype. Instead of asking, what's the best privacy tool out there, you really need to be asking, what's the best privacy tool for my specific situation?
Take a look at this list and try to identify your most likely adversary. If you're a standard user just trying to stop your local ISP from selling your data, dodging pesky advertisers, or keeping your bank login safe from some hacker at a local cafe, a VPN is the absolute perfect tool for your threat model. It's fast, it's secure, it encrypts everything. But if you're an investigative journalist, a whistleblower, or an activist operating under an oppressive regime that actively monitors the internet, you're facing state-level mass surveillance. In that scenario, a VPN single point of failure is way too risky. You absolutely need the distributed multi-node architecture of Tor.
Ultimately, it boils down to this: VPNs deliver a highly practical, fast, and secure shield for your everyday online life. They're built for that perfect balance of privacy and performance. Tor, on the other hand, provides an uncompromising, albeit very slow, bunker for maximum anonymity at all costs. They are distinct tools engineered to solve entirely different problems. Trying to use Tor to stream Netflix is going to be a miserable experience, just as relying on a commercial VPN to hide from a hostile government could be a really dangerous miscalculation. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to challenge your assumptions. What are you trying to protect, and who are you protecting it from? Don't just blindly install software because it promises security. Take a moment today, really think about it, and define your threat model. Build your digital defenses around your real life, your actual daily habits, and your realistic adversaries, not just the technology itself. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this clarified the ultimate privacy showdown for you. Stay safe out there, and as always, stay curious.